Friends. So Messy Marceau, our good girlfriend from Huntsville, was on Carlos King's show last night with Lil Boosie discussing everything Love and Marriage Huntsville. And Lil Boosie, not Lil Boosie, but Glendale, girl, Glendale from Mississippi said, you dirty earring back bitches. He would never, the bitches that's commenting on him and Letitia shit and him quitting his job and shit. He said y'all would never be on his roster. A bitch like you, he wouldn't look at you hoes twice. That's what Glendale said about y'all, child. I'm just relaying the information or whatever, but I don't know. To me, these reality TV guys, I think maybe because they get a little change and they get a little clout, like Glendale, baby, you short. You short as a motherfucker, and you like a 40-something-year-old rapper, baby. Like, girl, I guess, but we finna talk, friend. So welcome back. Y'all see it's earlier, right? I got some tan today. I got a little tan today. So this morning, girl, we finna talk about this Love and Marriage Huntsville tea. Destiny did her Mental Mondays podcast with that therapist. That therapist got something against Melody, and I'm gonna tell y'all why later. I would never have a therapist like her. Destiny, you need to get a refund, girl. You need to do some chargebacks, like I should have did on some of my stuff from these Love and Marriage Huntsville casts, but I digress. Anyway, so we gonna talk about the shit that Destiny was talking on Mental Mondays last night. She is definitely still in love with Moses. Her therapist definitely got something against Melody. I'm gonna tell y'all why. All of the shit Marsau and Glenn talked about with Carlos King. I actually thought it was a really good episode. He talked about Tisha, and we're gonna talk about Tisha because we're gonna talk about who Mel biggest ops on the trip was. Was it Destiny? Remember I put that picture up. Was Destiny the biggest op on the trip, or was Tisha the biggest op on the trip? Nail get an honorable mention. Trish get an honor. Stormy, y'all get honorable mentions. But that's why I posted that yesterday because I knew I was gonna do this video. So we gonna talk about who the biggest op and who was the biggest uh clout demon of the girls trip. Anyway, we also gonna talk about Armon and Cardi. Did y'all hear about them getting into it, girl? Literally, they was on Station Head and Spaces, girl, and I this happened like a week ago. Like a week ago, she was kind of shading him, but I didn't know until yesterday that they really got on Station Head and really got down to the nitty gritty of it. And you know, he just recently fell out with Cardi, so we gonna talk about the Nicki and Armand beef. I put the comments in the I put the timestamps in the comments, and so if y'all just want to hear about some certain shit, you can. Later on today. So later on today, I'm gonna talk about Love and Hip Hop Miami. Did y'all watch Love and Hip Hop Miami last night? I did. I still miss Suki with a good coochie. It's Scorpio season. Give me Suki with a good coochie. Exactly. Anyway, child. So later on today, probably a little bit after lunch, I'm gonna talk about loving hip hop Miami and Real Housewives of Potomac. So exactly. Today is content day, friend. So if you ain't subscribed to my channel, make sure you do poo. If you ain't cut your notifications on, maybe cut them off and cut them back on because we gonna talk about a lot of shit today. I got time. I might even do a members live later on. I got like a full bottle of wine. Nah, anyway. So what's up, friend? Let's talk about this shit. What we gonna talk about first? Let's talk about Carlos King them first since it's fresh on my mind because I rewatched it this morning and shit. And then we'll get into Destiny and her therapist. Kimmy had some more shit to talk about. We gonna talk about that scene that Kimmy did blaming Mel and comparing her to Tisha and Wanda. Cause y'all know I got some shit to say. Let me get a little sippy sip. Anyway, child. I still ain't got no table right here, y'all. I'm still trying to get my shit together. You see, I had to. Anyway, fuck all that. One thing that really stuck out with this interview with Carlos King and Glenn and Marceau, when they were talking about Tisha and when they were talking about Tisha and Ken, Marceau mentioned that he was talking about how Marquez still want to be with her, and we'll talk about that. But he said Marquez thought he could put her up on the show and then come back and get her. He wasn't expecting her to move on with another man. And I think that resonated with me because that's what's going on with me now. I feel like I feel like for those of y'all who my members exactly and y'all in tune with what's really the fuck going on, I feel like my UFC guy is trying to do that to me right now. And it's just like, dang, you know how when you talking to somebody, you hate to have to show them who you really are. Like, cause I like you. I wanted to be cute. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to be that girl with you. But now I gotta show you, and I know it ain't gonna never be the same. You know what I'm saying? It's never gonna be the same after I have to show you some shit. You know what I'm saying? I guess. But Marsau was speaking some real shit. First of all, let me first say before I start talking this shit, make sure y'all subscribe and like the video. Before I start talking this shit, let me preface this by saying I thought this was a really good interview. I think Marceau is entertaining, whether I agree with everything he's saying or not. He's entertaining. I like that Glenn was chiming in, and I felt like Glenn was being real honest in this interview. Even if he do think that bitches wouldn't be on his short ass roster. That's just how small men think. They be delusional too, just like these bitches. Anyway, but I loved his transparency when he was discussing how he could have been in Marquez's shoes if he didn't get his shit together with Letitia. I don't know. It kind of made me feel a different way. Oh, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Okay. So at the beginning, when they really started talking about, like the show and the wives and shit, um, they were talking about Tisha and Marceau and their dynamic and how they signed up for him to be the breadwinner, and Tisha signed up to be the housewife. Da 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 da. And Carlos King asked him, which do we think Carlos King was being shady? I don't know. But he asked him, did he think that Tisha got caught up in the whole boss bitch trying to be a boss bitch thing? And that's why she wanted to step out season 1 and season 2 and start hanging out with Mel and, build these podcasts and do all of these things. And Marceau said he feel like Tisha lost herself. She was unhappy with being a housewife and all of that other stuff, and she got caught up in being like the big boss girl. But he was saying that he's glad that he provided her with that option. She had that option to be to go out and explore being a boss bitch, or do you want to come back and be a housewife? And he said she ultimately decided, like, no, I'd rather be a housewife, go to the gym 2 times a week, go shopping, and do what I want to do. Do I think Marcel really provided her with an option? No, because he was resisting. Remember, he was hating. He didn't want her hanging out with Mel. He told her, like, no, you signed up to be a housewife. This was the deal that we made, bitch. So, da 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 da. So, I mean, now Marcel acting like, yeah, I let her explore. But no, you had a lot of resistance. We remember season 2 and season 1 and season 2. We was there, bitch. But, I don't know, y'all. So there was like I don't know, because I feel like as an independent woman myself, I feel like an independent woman always craves that sort of security. Like, even though, and a lot of men that I meet, they assume, oh, you an independent, you a boss, you can get it yourself. I don't give a fuck. Every woman wants to be taken care of, regardless of whether you independent or not. We still want a man to come in and treat us like a queen because that's who we are. You know what I'm saying? So I thought that was a really interesting conversation. I'm not sure if they was trying to shade Mel, but I feel like a lot of housewives do want to be a boss bitch, because Tisha literally wanted to be a boss girly. She said it herself. She wanted to step out. She wanted to be independent. She wanted to do her own thing. She had all of these degrees, and yet she was sitting in the house cooking you dinner, taking care of your kids all the time. So I don't know. Would y'all, and he was talking about, hey, that's one of the benefits of living a soft life, is having a man to provide you with that option. And I say that all the time. Like, I can make my own money every day, all day, but if I have your baby and I'm living with you and you're my man, if I want to say fuck these kids and fuck this job, if I want to do everything like on Everybody Hates Chris, if I want to do like old girl on Everybody Hates Chris and be like, I don't need this job, I want to have that option, and I want to have that security, my man with my financial security, to say, that, hey, you ain't gotta work if you don't want to work. However, in my ex marriage or whatever, My husband didn't, he barely wanted me to work part-time. I had to argue with him to work part-time because he wanted me to work on my master's. But you give them a certain level of control. Like Marceau has a certain level of control over Letitia. So I was thinking, y'all, and both Glenn and Marceau were saying a lot of these women, they would kill to be in Tisha's position. They would kill to be in Tisha's position. So I got a question. Would y'all trade in your independence to live the soft life with a man? Do you want that soft life where you can spend all of your money on yourself? You don't have to worry about no bills and shit, but you may have to deal with a man like Marceau. You may have to deal with that misogynistic, da 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 da, and everything comes with a price. I mean, you could do it all yourself, but you might be lonely, or you might not have the, the quality of man that'll take care of everything financially. Which you could have both, but we talking about in this certain, instance or whatever. Anyway, I love the fact that they was talking about that or whatever, because you can see the different type of relationship dynamics that are out there. Sometimes if you choose to be a housewife and choose to get a man like Marceau, and I love that he said, Tisha, he was like, they have a joint account, they have separate accounts and stuff. He said that all of Letitia's funds, he said everything they make off of own, Marceau check and Letitia check go into Letitia's account. He said all of Letitia money, he said he don't factor none of Letitia money into what the household expenses. And that's how I was raised. That's how a real man do. That's why I like the new men. I don't get with their dynamics. However, like I said, it's a price to pay. You might get those great dynamics where you can do whatever you want to with your money, help build, like a side business. You can do whatever you want to, but you still gonna have to deal with a controlling, misogynistic type of man like Marceau. I don't know. And Glenn and both of them agreed that many women, he was like, women would kill to be in Letitia and Tisha's face. Would y'all kill to be in Letitia and Tisha's face? I don't know. As an independent woman, if I got to deal with the bullshit that you putting out, I'd rather pay all my bills by myself. I'll wait because I know I could get better. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't no rush. I don't know, but tell me, y'all. And to all of my girlies, if you're a single girly out there, even if you're a married girly and you dealing with that, are you willing? Would you rather see the other side of things? I think with Letitia, it was a situation where she thought the grass was gonna be greener on the other side, and she decided that it wasn't gonna be greener. Or maybe it's because she lazy. Because I feel like Tisha got a lot of deep sea. We're gonna talk about that in a minute. Hold on. Anyway, let's go back to him. He said Marceau. He was saying that Letitia, all of the chicks, Letitia get to do what she want to do. He slipped up and said, "This." I wanted y'all peep this. Marceau said that all of their checks get deposited into Tisha's account. He said because the business name. He said because it's under her business. That's her business name. So are you getting her? So are you getting all of the money into like a business account? Or are you protecting your personal assets? I know a lot of rich people do that. A lot of rich people will develop their little LLC, da 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 da, and then they'll work under that name. They'll get da da. They're protecting their personal assets. Fast forward, I heard in the YouTube streets that recently Maurice got put on blast or whatever about his personal finances, and was saying that he wasn't really even getting no money. His only checks was coming from Love and Marriage Huntsville. He wasn't making no money from that legal career, da 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 da. And I've been asking, where is? Why haven't we seen? We watched Maurice go through law school. So why didn't we follow through with Maurice's legal career? Why haven't we seen him in the courtroom, litigation, mediation, interrogation? Bitch, we ain't seen shit from Maurice. So is that what y'all doing over there too, Kimmy? Is that the Scott way to do it? Hide all your assets and put it underneath the LLC in your wife's name? I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, so they were talking about that or whatever. Then Carlos King mentioned Tisha's happy right now. She was in LA with me from the NAACP, and she was gonna quit the show because she was getting bullied. Was she getting bullied or was she getting called out for being a fake ass bitch to Mel season 1 and season 2? When she was trying to help you boss up because you was unhappy being a housewife and you wanted to develop your own, you know what I'm saying, your own staple. I feel like Tisha's that's a big reason why Tisha's envious of Mel because Tisha has that financial security. She has that comfort of Marceau. He's gonna always make sure he's providing for them, yada yada yada. Like he said, she can do whatever the fuck she wants to do. And Mel had to step out on that limb and do it all for herself. And she was successful. She's successful in doing it all for herself. And I feel like Tisha wanted to do that. She tried. It didn't necessarily. I ain't gonna say it didn't work out for her. I just feel like she got scared and ran back to doing what she gonna do. Mind you, I like Tisha as a housewife. I like Tisha as a housewife more than I like Tisha as a wannabe boss. I feel like if they leaned into Tisha going to homecoming and PTO, because I follow Tisha on Instagram, I feel like she's a more likable bitch as a motherfucking housewife versus trying to be a boss bitch because that's not your element. Maybe that's not your walk in life. You know what I'm saying? Different strokes for different folks. Anyway, so he was talking about how Tisha is real happy with her life now. We're gonna put a pin in Tisha being real happy because if that bitch was so motherfucking happy, why was she so messy this trip? And why do she still have it in for Mel? We're gonna talk about it though. They so Marceau and Glenn, they also was talking about the Trish and the Ken shit, right? And you know Marceau already got a feeling about about Ken. But like I said, he had a lot of really good points. Marceau was really touching as far as like when men talk. I like to hear men like this talk, not necessarily that misogynistic bullshady bullshit he be on. But when he was talking about how Ken, one thing he said, he was like he was like Marquez was crying because he said Marquez wasn't crying because Ken was tucking in his kids and stuff. Marquez was crying because he was tucking in his high school sweetheart. He said, "Bitch, you not crying over them kids. You crying over that cat. You crying over that a half a pound of engineered Huntsville GI Jane cat. That's what the fuck you crying over, my nigga." And that's what I said in my little Love and Marriage Huntsville review. I don't think it's just about the kids yet. I feel like Marquez is hurt that we are high school sweethearts and you finally are moving on and you literally like, bitch, you know how niggas don't realize until it's gone, like, oh, this shit is real. This motherfucker got my family and this bitch is moving on. But the high part of it all is Trish didn't want to move on. And Marceau mentioned it. Trish didn't want to move on. I meant to mention this in my Love and Marriage Huntsville review because when I was trying to do the little thumbnails, I was like I usually like take shots of the, of the scenes or whatever. And if I can't get a good shot of the scene, then I'll just, go on their pages. In the scene though, Trish was eating that motherfucking food. When she got them divorce papers, she was giving Marquez the evil eye. The whole y'all gotta watch the scene when Marquez pulls out those divorce papers. When I tell you, Trish eyes never went to Ken. Her eyes was fixated on Ken. She was eating that motherfucking food, but when she looked up, them motherfucking eyes was like, like you evil ass bitches. She was pissed off. She was pissed off. And you know what those facial expressions gave me? Look back and forth. The facial expressions gave me. Y'all, make sure y'all subscribe. Y'all know I'm a psychology major. Those facial expressions gave me, we said we wasn't gonna get no divorce. And you popped up and really got these divorce papers. It was given like, nigga, I can't believe you really came with some motherfucking divorce papers. And I told y'all, I feel like Marquez and Trish, they still be talking. Or else, how would Marquez have known that Ken stayed out for a day or two? How would he know that that Ken is incompetent? Can't have no kids and shit. So I think Trish still talk to Marquez when she get mad at Ken because they've been best friends since high school. And when he popped out with them papers, Trish was pissed. And word on the street is they're not even legally married. I mean, they're not even legally divorced yet. I'll look up some information I look up some information and tell it to my members only. Exactly. But girl, anyway, so I thought it was really good. I liked the whole Maurice, I mean the Marsau, Lil Boosie and Carlos King session or whatever. Mark not Marquez. Glendale was talking about how he really resonated with Marquez when he started crying. He was like, cause that could have been me. I was like, okay. Letitia, maybe this motherfucker learning some shit. Maybe the light bulb popped into Glendale head and told him stop trying to be a rapper or your wife gonna leave you with the kids and walk away with a G.I. Joe nigga. G.I. Joe nigga. What I didn't like though, you see how they was talking about how Ken is a hero and Carlos, you first of all, this how men think, and this is how double-sided this shit is. You see how Ken is out here messing with the second married woman, moving into her house with the kids, but all because he's there taking care of another man's kids, which that's a plus. But if that was a woman, they would clown that woman. That woman would be a hoe. We still don't like Alicia Keys because she did the same shit. Exactly. Messed with a married man, Swiss beats. Mashonda might have left and da 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 da. The moral of the story is it's really double sided when it comes to men and women. You know what I'm saying? Like a man can be a side chick, but a woman can't do that. We still don't like Trish because she might have fucked with Martell when he was still legally married to Mel. So we ostracized Trish, even though Trish a lying ass bitch. But you see how they praised Ken, even though he out here messing with married women as a hobby. I don't give a fuck what y'all saying. I still don't praise Ken. I still don't like him. Fuck Ken. Exactly, his black ass. He's supposed to be on Millie Chine's live tonight. So make sure y'all catch Millie Chine. Y'all know I'ma catch it. I'll watch it and talk some shit tomorrow. Anyway, so that was really what was going on with the Carlos King thing with Marsau and Glen. Tell me if y'all watched it. Tell me if y'all liked it, what y'all got out of it. Let's talk about him talking about Tisha being happy now, though. So I posted a picture asking who was the biggest ops of the damn of the damn girls trip. Because I listened to Destiny's Mental Mondays last night, and I'm gonna tell y'all what I thought about her trash ass life coach, therapist, whoever the fuck she is. I just know she a bitch I don't like. And I said, what the fuck I said? She like a damn anteater. Anyway, so if Tisha is really, really happy, first of all, remember last season when Tisha got drunk at Nell's birthday party? I was like, what's going on with Tisha? Is Tisha unhappy? And you see how she tried to intervene with Mel talking to Marsau and shit. I was like, damn, do Tisha be getting drunk like this? Like, is she unhappy? What's tea with Tisha? If Tisha is really happy, why do she still have an end for Mel? Or why does she attempt to sabotage this nice ass girls trip if she is really happy? First of all, we already know that Tisha is probably dealing with the whole Kiki thing, and a lot of people in her family have passed, so she may be going through a grieving process. So I will say we can give her some grace because she's going through a lot personally that we don't see on the show. And I will say that she's been handling it well, like in the public eye, whatever. But on this trip, remember I said Destiny was the biggest ops. So we know Stormy kind of she was kind of the ops, but Stormy, bowed out or whatever. Trisha just a dumb bitch. She ain't got enough relevance to be the biggest ops. But as it stands, it's like Tisha and it's Destiny. Tisha been around longer, but Destiny is more aggressive. Destiny was way more aggressive. But if we really looking at it, you see how Tisha was like, yeah, why you trying to start drama between me and Mel? Because me and Mel, we've been cool this season and we ain't got no problem. That's what Tisha said out of her mouth, that her and Mel didn't have no problems. So if you and Mel didn't have no problems, why did you cause all this drama on this trip? That leads me to believe that you got some deep seated hatred or something against Mel. Because if y'all in a season where you say that you don't have no problems, what was the reason why you caused all this drama? Case in point, let's talk about it. First, Tisha invited Destiny on a trip. If Destiny wasn't with the crew when Mel gave out all the invites, what made you invite Destiny to the trip? Was it because that at that same event, Mel brought up the fact that Black was closed? Remember, Tisha had an attitude that Mel brought up the fact that her students went to Black and it was closed. And then she lied and tried to deflect, and Marsau had to tell us that the people in the city is the reason why Black is closed. So did you invite Destiny because you was mad that Mel put you on blast about Black being closed? Because that was the only thing that happened right before that if y'all was supposed to be cool. Then on top of you inviting Destiny, as soon as Destiny gets there, I know you was mad about your room. So by the time that Destiny got there, you already told her about Sunny, which she would have known. Why did you have to tell her about Melody saying that Martell that she may have messed with Martell? Because you could have been told her that. You could have told her that as soon as Mel said it. But you waited until around this time. Was it because you was mad about your room and you was still mad about her bringing up Black? And then why the fuck did you tell her that Mel just said fuck Destiny? If you wasn't trying to start shit, if you and Mel was in a good place, why would you intentionally tell Destiny this shit to start shit? Like, cause Destiny wouldn't have known, nobody would have known if you hadn't brung it up. You brought Destiny there, like, hey, she got us in a small ass room, and then let me tell you what this bitch was saying about you. Let me tell you what she. I'm gonna tell you what she said about you and Martell, but just so it's fresh on your mind, bitch. Let me tell you what she just said about you last night. You literally was putting a battery in Destiny back to bring all of that drama. And then once Mel wasn't faced and you felt like, oh, you was getting played off like a side bitch because Mel had her real friends there. I feel like that's why you feel some type of way, Tisha. And I feel like when all of the shit with Destiny fell flat and Destiny started kissing her motherfucking ass, and you saw all these bitches making up, these bitches hugging, she's sitting next to her. So at the dinner where Destiny was sitting next to Belle, she probably thinking, damn, that shit ain't even work. I did all of that shading and that Destiny sitting next to her and they made up. Hmm. That bitch got on Jeopardy. It was like, let me bring up this Trish and Martell shit so I can ruffle this bitch feathers. And what's crazy is Tisha and Destiny was supposed to be like this, but that's where the dissension was caused because Tisha probably was thinking, "Oh, you a fake ass bitch because we've been talking about Belle and you supposed to go in on her. Now you sitting next to her." That's probably why when Stormy and Trish left the next day, Tisha got in the pool. Tisha got in the pool with her and Kimmy and started talking about Stormy and shit. So is that why Destiny had an attitude the next day? Destiny, did you have an attitude the next day? Because after Stormy and Trisha left, your homegirl Tisha, who put the battery in your back, she turned around and was sitting in the pool chilling with her and Kimmy, and they didn't invite you to the pool the next morning. And you was just friends with Mel, remember, trying to sit next to her, but they didn't invite you to the pool to film and talk about Stormy and them. No, it was just Kimmy, Trisha. It was just Kimmy, Tisha, and Mel. So it's giving that on the trip Tisha and Destiny kind of conspired to be messy assholes, but once the shit didn't start working out or whatever, then they started, you know what I'm saying, not really feeling each other. Because we know Tisha went home and admitted that Destiny was lying about that whole coleslaw shit with Marceau. So Tisha ain't got your back, Destiny. She was just using you to get under Mel's skin. And then when she noticed that you was trying to be buddy buddy with Mel, that's when she said, "Oh, fuck that bitch. Fuck that bitch, I'm on to new shit." And when she got home with her man, she told her man that, yeah, she was lying. Let's move on to Destiny motherfucking ass though, because this bitch ain't no better. So I was wondering why Destiny attitude changed from like the night before to at the white party. And then I'm thinking, was she mad because Tisha and Kimmy sat in the pool and had a whole scene with Mel and nobody invited her? Nobody invited you to sit in the pool and talk about the Stormy and Trish shit. Bitch, you still not a part of the clique. Mel told you she ain't looking for no new friends, ho. And that was shout out to you. Girl, I guess. I don't know. So Destiny was on her Mental Monday podcast last night, though, with that damn therapist. This one I don't like that motherfucking. First of all, let me tell y'all what Destiny was talking about. She said she only went on a trip so she won't get fined. As if this my job. Carlos King said I had to go on the trip, so I went on the trip. Do I think that's the truth? Maybe. But she a lying ass bitch, so we never know. She also started talking about how she lost her brother, how she lost her brother, and she was looking for a protector. And I guess she found it in Moses. And she said once he got out of jail, incarcerated people don't act the same. So she was trying to protect his feelings and protect his healing. And fell in love with. She said she fell in love with his potential and da 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 da. Bitch, when this happened? When did all this happen? Where was LeBeric when you was looking for a protector? Why wasn't your husband or the man you been dating or thought was gonna be your husband? Why wasn't LeBeric the protector guy? Why was it the man that was incarcerated that you latched on to? And when you was trying to protect his healing and in love with his um potential, where was LeBeric at during all of this time? Somebody drop down in the comments and tell me when Moses got locked up, girl. Cause bitch, how is it that your brother passed away and you looking for this protector? Why wasn't Liberica an option? It's giving, yes, it's giving the deep. You trying to downplay the Moses shit. You was in love with Moses. Moses was the one you really wanted. It's giving Moses was the one you really wanted, but maybe he was in jail, so you decided to marry Liberic. I don't know. Anyway, she also talked about them calling her a motherless child. She said when her godmama heard that, because her godmama been in her life, she said she was like, "I beat da da." Is that where you get that from? Always trying to fight. Because if your godmama responded like that and she the mother figure in your life, is that where you got that from, poo poo? I don't know. But that made me think. She said that her father wasn't around. I mean, she said her father started taking care of her around 5. And she was like, well, you can't miss what you never had as far as like having a mother's presence in your life. So I was thinking, is that why Destiny is so male identified? Because notice every time she has an issue with two people, she always blames the woman. Like with Martell and Mel, she blamed Mel and took the side of Martell. She didn't overtly blame Mel, but in her actions, you could tell she sided with Martell and took her heat out on Mel. Just like with the Moses and Sonny stuff. Moses been with you for 15 years. He deserves all the smoke. But no, you took all of the heat and the smoke out on Sonny. You didn't take that heat and smoke out on Moses. I don't know. Destiny, I think Destiny just need therapy at this point. Like seriously, that ain't no joke. I think she need therapy. But what I do think is she don't need therapy from this bitch because this bitch, I don't like her. First of all, she was shading. She was like, I don't know. I wouldn't have been in a setup like that. She was shading a trip. She was shading a setup. She mentioned I don't see how Destiny could have came there and been engulfed in all of that drama. What, bitch? Destiny brought the drama. The fact that if you listen to them talk, she never makes Destiny accountable for the things that she does in those situations. She blames the other people for the situations that Destiny is in. And then she mentions this narcissistic character and she starts talking about triangulation and how this narcissistic character will put you in this situation and then the character acts like they're the hero and they're forgiving you and she was like it was crazy. Listening to it is crazy. I'm sorry, friend. I'm tapped out for mental Mondays because this fucking therapist or life coach Destiny need a fucking refund because this bitch ain't holding you accountable. I've never heard a therapist or a life coach talk about someone else's actions more than they talk about your actions and how to help you deal with those situations. This bitch was crazy, child. And then this was the icing on the cake to me. She said that she was listening to, I'm not gonna say these YouTubers' name, but she mentioned 2 YouTubers and was talking about how she watched them and da 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 and compared a situation to them. That lets me know that you watch YouTube, you watch the Love and Marriage Huntsville YouTube sector, and you have already chosen a side. in your head you have already chosen a side because she can go on rambling about Mel for a minute. So it's giving you don't like Mel. How the fuck you gonna counsel her about a situation with a person that you obviously don't like? You've obviously made an opinion based off this show and you watch YouTube. Why would we listen to you? Girl, trash, trash, trash. Trash. Baby, just I don't know. Tell me if y'all watch Mental Mondays. Destiny and that therapist, life coach, or whatever the hell you want to call it. I'm assuming she got her degree from ICDC, allegedly, you know, whatever. But I'm a psychology major child, and no, no. My advisor was my low key counselor slash da 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 da, and she was a psychiatrist. And baby, you're nothing like her. It's trash. It's giving bias, and it's giving you a low key male hater too. Anyway, so we get Kimmy and Maurice. There's also a clip of Kimmy and Maurice going around where Kimmy is comparing the Letitia shit to Mel and her fans. This is my only problem, child. Wanda is still doing all of this shit. So Kimmy was trying to say, y'all wanted to hold Tisha accountable and wanted Tisha to put more effort into controlling Wanda, but Mel doesn't have to address her fans. This my whole thing. Especially even Stormy and her and Betty. They may have made a blanket statement like, yeah, mama, that's wrong. We all know that they agree with what they mama doing based off their actions after. And why the fuck would Mel say anything? How can you compare Wanda to the Melometers when Wanda been doing this ever since Wanda came on our screen? Y'all literally had to fire this lady for harassing Mel. And as the girls' trip was filmed, her mama was still on YouTube going in on Mel, talking about her mama, kids, family, all of this other shit. So at that present time, nothing has happened. I don't give a fuck if Tisha did say something once about it. At present time, she still ain't said shit about it. She still ain't said shit about it. I done did about 2 or 3 lives reviewing the shit that Wanda said. Not once has Tisha the next day posted something on her Instagram or said anything. Teabaggers, come close, friend. Come close, friend. Now is your time, bitch. Drop down in the comments and tell me one time within the last 3 months when Wanda been on her fucking YouTube talking all of this shit, has Tisha came out and said anything to her mama or tried to denounce it, said it was wrong or anything. So the fact that the Melometers are the storyline with all of this bad shit, and the storyline is not that your mama is still online harassing me after we didn't fire this bitch off the show, and your mama still online harassing me like a fucking net. Girl, please. Kimmy, the real question is why you ain't got no storyline? Why we not talking about Maurice being a lawyer? Because apparently, according to his most recent court case, he ain't got no income coming from his legal fees and legal costs or nothing. No legal cases coming out of Alabama. They said you paid for his legal education, allegedly. That was just a rumor that was out there. So why the fuck is Maurice? Why don't we see Maurice in the courtroom or litigating or going through mediation and shit? Why you concerned about Trish and Ken? You concerned about Mel and the Melometers? You concerned about everything else, but why your dog ass man is still trying to fuck on you and getting DUIs and got a sex addiction? I hope we start talking about that. I really do. Because this scene was so hypocritical for Kimmy to try to compare the Wanda situation to Mel as if the Wanda situation present day is still not worse than the whole Melometer situation. It's a lot worse. Wanda is low key harassing Mel. She just had to threaten her with a lawsuit. Why are we not talking about Mel having to threaten your mama with a lawsuit? Those are two people that we know. These are characters and these are family members. The fact that the Melometers is a storyline, but not the fact that Mel just almost had to threaten your mama with a lawsuit is crazy. And then Maurice gonna chime in talking about what did he say? What gets rewarded gets repeated. Exactly. Exactly, bitch. Exactly. Y'all keep rewarding Wanda. She got fired, but y'all not going in on Wanda online. I don't see Marsau talking about how Wanda is wrong. None of y'all talking about how Wanda is wrong. That's why she continuously does it on YouTube. Girl, fuck Kimmy and Maurice. Tell me if y'all think that Kimmy gonna stand 10 toes down about this DUI thing, or y'all think she gonna be a weak bitch that's just happy to be married and have a Scott's last name. It's given now at the reunion. I'm not sure if she gonna get into it with Mel or she gonna get into it with Neil, but we'll see. I don't know. Tell me what y'all thought about Marsau Nim, the Tisha and Destiny shit, her on Mental Mondays, and Kimmy trying to compare Wanda and the Melometers. Anyway, let's talk about Armon and Cardi real quick. Last girl, so not Armon and Cardi, but Armon and Nicki. So he had already got into it with Cardi. He got into it with Offset. Offset threatened him and shit, all about that Ken Barbie shit, and Cardi, allegedly recording him and stuff. And for those of y'all who watch Armon a lot, he's heavy on the female rap. So he goes back and forth between his favorites. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes he'll be feeling Nicki shit. Sometimes he'll be feeling Cardi shit. So Nicki just dropped a new song where she's like a feature on it, and Armand was basically saying like, this shit cute where you singing and shit, but we want some hard shit. You know what I'm saying? We want some tough shit. And he mentioned big difference or whatever. Mind you, I was with Armand. He the one had me hyped when she performed Big Difference on the awards or whatever. I went back and watched. I was like, okay, and I was listening to it on the treadmill. But the whole song when it came out, it wasn't that. It wasn't hype. Like the rest of the song brought down the snippet. You know what I'm saying? So I agree with Armand on that. I don't like Nicki, but I'm really fair when it comes to music because I still listen to some of Nicki shit. I just don't like her attitude. And this is why. So my Barbs, close your ears, poo poo. Your best friend still love you. I still love you, poo. But we finna talk about this bitch. Cause tell me why. I guess they was on Station Head and Armand was on there and he was just like, I'm just telling you that some of the Barbs are scared to tell you that, hey, we want to hear something different. We want this. Nicki went into a whole rant about her numbers. Pink Friday was the best selling album last year. It's the best selling album this year. Girl, and she started talking in that funny, creepy, crazy, cokey voice. And I am telling you, girl, fuck you. Imagine if you and your friends was drinking and that bitch started talking like that. I would smash that bitch in her face like, bitch, stop talking like that. Anyway, child, so she commits to clowning him, talking about his music, how his music is trash. She put him on mute and went on a whole rant about how you ain't never made a hit. Your music is so trash, all of this. And then Armand was just sitting there kind of cackling and giggling, which was crazy. Like, because we know that Armand can read the girls with the best of them. So I thought he was just gone. I thought he was going to spaz on her. And I'm wondering, did he not spaz on her because he didn't want to lose the Barbs? Because, once the Barbs start hating you, it'd be hard. Like how they do Lotto and a lot of the other girlies. So I don't know, y'all. Tell me if y'all listen to the recording. A lot of people was like, "Oh, well, she shouldn't have went in on Armand because Armand don't want to be an artist." That's cap. Armand does want to be an artist. Armand has a full rollout for his music. He was performing, and he always talks about if he had his choice, he wouldn't be on here talking about other people. It's giving. If Armand was a regular celebrity, he wouldn't really be doing this YouTube shit. And he's a great performer. Mind you, I like a lot of Armand songs. I used to love Deposit Your Check. Yeah, you want to flex? I used to be jigging to it, you know what I'm saying? And I seen a few of his performances. I was like, okay, he did a good job. The moral of the story is, even if this man didn't want to be a top notch rapper, he's putting money, time, and effort into it. So the fact that this man gives you a lot of clout because he talks about you on YouTube a lot, and he's being friendly with your motherfucking ass, the fact that you took that time to tear him down and tear his music down was some trash ass shit. No wonder these other hoes don't fuck with you. And y'all wonder, all of the girlies come for Nicki. No. Even if they try to be humble and apologize to her like Armand did, He tried to be humble and apologize to her. And look what she did. She got him on there and embarrassed him. And it's given every time somebody goes against her and then come back, she gonna clown you. Like Armon was Team Cardi for a long time. She probably feel like, oh, so now you're not cool with Cardi. Let me bring you over here and welcome you. And look how I'm finna trash you and clown you in front of all of these people. She did the same thing with JT. Oh, soon as you got into it with Carisha and shit, I'm finna bring you over here and I'm finna clown your ass. And look where JT at now. Look where JT at now. Look where City Cinderella at now. After all of that shit you went through with Nicki, when your album came out, she decided that she wasn't fucking with you no more. And that gloating surpassed you. Look what she did with Ra Ali. Remember Ra Ali? She went against Remy when she was beefing with Remy. She took her friend Ra Ali, or when Ra Ali started beefing with Remy, you hopped over there with Nicki, and then eventually she clowned your ass too. Ooh, child, do y'all think Nicki trying to teach Armand a lesson? And my barbs, just tell me if that was you. Real, I want some real true barbs. If Nicki start clowning you like that, you gonna start snickling and giggling. I don't give a fuck how much I like a bitch. And then go shouts out to my faves. Exactly. All of my faves. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. I don't want to be in the music industry, bitch, and I got a regular career. Come over here talking that shit, bitch. I'm gonna go ahead and show you what you want. We're gonna talk about Megan's Law. We're gonna talk about these drugs. We're gonna talk about these Grammys or lack thereof. We finna talk about a lot of shit, bitch. We finna talk about Sheetha. Exactly. Anyway, tell me what y'all thought about that. If y'all watched the Nicki Minaj going in on Armand, do y'all think Armand should have clapped back on her? I'm surprised he ain't got no video up right now. It's crazy. And the crazy part is on his new intro, he got Cardi and Nicki on there talking about him. It's giving y'all love to hate Armand. Cause, cause he's one of the number one commentators as far as like rap girlies are concerned. But I don't know, child. Like, what would you do for fame? What would you do? I don't know. What would you do for fame? Cause Nicki can't curse me out for fame. I'll knock all this shit over. Anyway, y'all, that's all I had to say. That's all I had to say. I had fun talking to y'all this morning. Make sure y'all comment. Make sure y'all like. Tell me what y'all thought about Marsau, Messy Mondays with Carlos, and they whole take on the Trish and Ken thing. Ken and Marquez cool now though. Marquez posted some on his story the other day, and it was like a little phone call from Ken. They was talking for 4 hours. What man? I don't know what man talking on the phone to another man for 4 hours, but I digress. If they cool, then that's good because they live in Hunstville together now. Is Trish still in love with Marquez? Well, tell me what y'all think. Do y'all think that Trish low key wanted Marquez to get his shit together, and she was shocked about the divorce? I don't know. Tell me what y'all thought about Destiny and her shit that she was talking on Mental Mondays. Was Destiny or Tisha the biggest op on the girls' trip? I'm finna get out of here, but this is the number one question of the day. Is Destiny the biggest op for starting all of that shit, being a miserable, tacky ass bitch? Or was Tisha the real miserable bitch for putting a battery in Destiny batch? And I laid out the facts exactly. Anyway, friend, I'll talk to y'all later. Like I said, make sure y'all cut y'all notifications on. Stay in tune, girl, because later on we gonna be day drinking and we gonna be talking about Love and Hip Hop Miami and Real Housewives of Potomac. And any of my members, feel free to comment down below and tell me what y'all want to talk about in case, you know what I'm saying, I missed something. Anyway, y'all have